Do you think that kinky people should be a protected class of people? Like the same way that people are arguing that transgender people or gay people or racial minorities.
So I can tell you from the Valence study we did, where we asked people, do you feel positively, negatively, or mixed? One of the biggest things that came up was people that were terrified about losing their jobs over their boss finding out if they were kinky. And so, if they find a photo or something online, just like for someone who's gay, where there aren't very many legal protections that exist in most states for people that are gay and can be fired from their jobs, I think that a similar thing is likely going to be beneficial for kinky people, to think about it as a sexual minority group that's a protected class.
And that could extend to any type of workplace discrimination. They could workplace discriminate. I mean, I don't know.
So yeah. So and I want to be clear, right? So if you show up to your job in like a latex catsuit, right? Like you can be fired for that, not because you're kinky, but because it's not the uniform of the job, because it's disruptive, that sort of thing. But your boss should not be able to like go search online, find photos of you somewhere wearing a latex catsuit, and then fire you because they think you're a pervert.
What if they find a photo of you dressed up as a Nazi, but it's in a kink scene?
Yeah, I think that's a complicated issue. I think that probably would require some sort of conversation. At the legal level, right, that might be firing them for a political affiliation rather than for...
Okay, what about like the slave play, whatever? Like someone finds a picture at like a kink party where like they're dressed up as like a slave master, and then could they argue that this is my sexual fetish? This is...
Yeah, so and I think it's going to depend upon the job, right? So if your job is like, working towards ending sex slavery, right? That there might be a good job-related reason why that might interfere, right?
What if you're just
an accountant?
But what if you just work around children or something? Like, do you understand why an employer might be concerned about that?
Yeah, I think that's based on a similar assumption to what we saw with like homophobic assumptions in the 1950s, that like we shouldn't let gay people work with children because they might sexually assault them. I think assuming that because someone is kinky that they're going to sexually assault children is a similar...
No. Not that they would sexually assault children, but they would just be skeptical about someone who's dressed up as a slave master just like around their children, if that makes sense. Like they might say, okay, like they're not going to actually like sell my children into sex slavery.
Are they going to dress up as a like slave master in front of the
No. But I'm saying I'm just saying, do you understand like what the concern might be? Yeah,
that's a similar kind of prejudice to what we saw with homophobia in the 1950s, right? Like if the assumption is they're going to have gay sex in front of my child and therefore they shouldn't work with a kid, that's the same kind of assumption that's at this root of like they are kinky and so therefore they're a pervert and they shouldn't be around my kid.